My first car actually was a Honda Civic, basically because at the time they were really inexpensive and they were revolutionary and they were very economical, and it was really something new to drive. And as a student starting out, you needed something that would get you from A to B, but also didn't cost you a lot to run. So my first car actually was a Honda Civic, one of the very first ones back in the late 70s, and I had it for years and years and years, and it just ran like crazy. It was a good car, excellent car. Okay, I had a Fiat Spider for a little bit. Loved the product, but not one of the most reliable cars on the road. But it was one of those things where you're at that age where you want a convertible. So I had this little car. I only had it for about 3 years, and it was great. It was my favorite. Why? Well, this top-down experience, that whole thing. And when you're driving around in a red Fiat, I mean, you get very popular. So it was a lot of fun for me. It really was it had some of the best memories I ever had as far as driving down the open road, especially around here in Ottawa. You take it out to Gatineau Park. The top is down. It's a beautiful, warm day. Just brilliant, brilliant car. I drive a lot, so a car for me is a very practical appliance. However, because I spend a lot of time in my car, I find that I do, like for example, when I get a chip in the window, I feel badly for the car. Do you know what I mean? Like I love my cars. I think it's important to have something that's reliable, but that you're also comfortable with, and something that represents you. So I find, I hate to say there's an intimate relationship, but it's a very close relationship because I rely on it and I use it a lot for my work. So that's the kind of thing it is. I don't name them. I find that always a little weird when people name their cars, but I love my cars, and when I find a car I love, I stick with it. Absolutely. I think the next level, for so many reasons, the environment, geopolitics, all of that kind of stuff, and I mean, love my my gasoline-powered cars. However, I really think it's time for a shift in the industry, and I think the future will definitely be electric. But there are a couple of things that need to be addressed first. First of all, the electric vehicle, like somebody like myself that drives a lot of miles, electric vehicle has to have a bigger range. It has to be at least minimum 400 to 500 kilometers to 1,000. Number two, there has to be a better infrastructure so that we can now charge the cars. We're used to having gas stations every 3 blocks. It's got to be the same way now with chargers. And number three, the cars have to be quick charges. Now, they're much better now. Some vehicles can be charged within half an hour, 40 minutes, which is pretty good because I think, like if I'm driving from here to Toronto, for example, I don't mind stopping for half an hour. I can go, get a coffee, something to eat, check my email, go to the bathroom. That's about a half an hour. I can come back. But 2-3 years ago, when it took 3 or 4 or 5 hours to charge, it was basically impossible. There wasn't any range, it took too long to charge, and there were no charging stations anywhere. So I think once these three sort of challenges are met, I think then the doors will just fly open as far as electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, and it'll be good for the environment, it'll be good for the consumer, and it'll be good all the way around. Oh, geez, my dream car. BMW has an i8, which is a hybrid vehicle or an electric vehicle. It's a really beautiful, if you've seen it here at the auto show, it's a really beautiful 2-door, sort of basically a roadster. It's a gorgeous vehicle, and BMW make excellent vehicles. The German auto manufacturers always make that certain style of vehicle that appeals to the driver. But the beauty of it is this is an electric, it's a hybrid, so that you have the benefit of feeling good about what you're doing to the environment, but also having that BMW sort of, handling and power behind you, and it's a gorgeous car. So I think for now, that's the one. When we were kids, my father used to always buy Meteors, and Meteors were always huge, long, like basically rolling living rooms. And for me, the fun part was road trips with the family. Being cheap and cheerful, we used to pack the car with all of our camping gear, put the trailer in the back, and we would just drive for miles and miles and miles, and then stop anywhere and just put the feet down on the trailer and set up. And I think for me, that was fun. My little sister and I used to there were no seat belts back then, so we used to sort of look out the rear window and we'd watch all the cars go by, and we'd count the cows and do all those kinds of games. And I think those are great memories of those periods of time, driving with the family, enjoying all those those summer weekends and Sunday drives. I think those are the great times.